Two teams look to make a breakthrough early in this conference, and who will it be? Will it be the SAVOUGE Aesthetic Spin Doctors or the Alpha Insurance Protectors? Volleyball fans, this is our third offering of our Sunday triple header. This is Spikers Turf, where power meets passion.
And we are coming to you live from the Phil Oil Center in San Juan City for your 2026 Spikers Turf Open Conference. And we are ready for our third and final match. As you see, the grand entrance of the SAVOUGE Aesthetic Spin Doctors, led by their captain Hero Austria, Eloisa Gamban, and the rest of their teammates, and the new look Alpha Insurance Protectors with their new teammates on deck, ready for another match here in our tournament. And we are already set in a few minutes. Thank you so much for catching us over on the Pilipinas Live app. Tip Bianco alongside Aiel Estraniero calling this match. Aiel, before this game day, wala pang 5 sets. Yep. But just a while ago, the match before this, it was a 5-setter. So this one, maybe, just maybe with based on paper, they're a good matchup.
I agree. This is an exciting one, a big one. Both teams, Alpha Insurance and SAVOUGE Spin Doctors, are big contenders for this conference. So I'm sure they want to give it their all today.
Let's talk about the team standing so far. No? Just to mention the updated for these two teams. Nasaan na ba sila in the early goings of our tournament?
Well, for SAVOUGE, they've only had one game so far. They were able to get that win in the opening day. They are at second seed. Meanwhile, you've got Alpha Insurance, who are having an up and down performance, but they are coming off a loss against Criss Cross, so they would want to go back to the winning column.
Alright, pag-usapan na natin yung kanilang previous matches here in our open conference. So you mentioned both teams coming off different places in their last outings. For the SAVOUGE Aesthetic Spin Doctors, they are coming off a win in straight sets against 3B, who actually won that 5-setter earlier. But let's talk about that match. What happened there for SAVOUGE Aesthetics?
Well, for SAVOUGE Aesthetics, they have been continuously improving each season. So again, as mentioned, they are heavy contenders. They were able to sweep the newcomers in 3B event Masters. It was a dominant showing for SAVOUGE. No players scored in double digits, but in each player stepped up in each sequence. Coach Sidney Calderon was able to showcase the depth of her lineup. Take a look at those numbers. Big disparity in terms of spike points, blocking, and even in the aces. So it was an all-around game for the Spin Doctors, and something that they would want to replicate against a team who has been also improving since the last conference.
Ganda ng simula for Coach Sidney Calderon in their matchup, in their quest to hopefully make it to the finals for the first time in their history dito sa Spikers Turf. Let's talk about a key player for them. One that stepped up in their match, a main figure kung bakit sila nanalo in that game. We saw her enter the building earlier, Eloisa Gamban. What a performance in that matchup.
Well, again, a lot of players really contributed in terms of attacking, but Eloisa Gamban came off the bench and delivered 7 points despite minimal minutes. Eloisa Gamban embraced that opportunity, and he was able to step up big for his squad. But again, in terms of attacking, really no problem on the side of the Spin Doctors. They have a lot of weapons offensively. It will just boil down to execution for this squad.
Extra power for Eloisa Gamban in that performance. Usually coming off the bench, but you like that support. And if every time you need someone coming from your second unit, she is ready to perform para sa SAVOUGE Aesthetics. Lipat tayo sa kabila for the Alpha Insurance Protectors. 1-1 so far, as you mentioned, dito sa ating tournament, and they're coming off a tough matchup against the Criss Cross King Crunchers, and they also lost that one in straight sets.
Exactly. I mean, it was a tough battle for the Alpha Insurance to face Criss Cross right away in their second match. But again, Criss Cross was able to showcase their dominance in a lot of departments. Yes, Alpha Insurance tried to keep it close. Criss Cross did not entirely dominate them. Blocking was there, some attacking as well. But again, it wasn't enough as Criss Cross really showed their composure and their team chemistry. And again, we have to mention Alpha Insurance, relatively a new team and a lot of new players in their squad. So they are still trying to build the team chemistry. But this number still shows how good they could be. And right now, the Alpha Insurance definitely want to get the bounce back win against the Spin Doctors.
Although it was a dominant effort on the part of Criss Cross, meron pa rin naman bright spots for Alpha Insurance in that game. Despite the loss, Jao Mandal, one of their new players coming from Signal, he was in double digits in that game.
12 points of 11 attacks and 1 ace for Jao Mandal. As you mentioned, a new addition. So Alpha Insurance has earned an ace player in getting Jao Mandal, a power hitter who can be a reliable scorer, especially in crunch moments. So today, against an experienced SAVOUGE team, we can rely on Jao Mandal to deliver those points for Alpha Insurance.
Onting paninibago because of his new uniform, but maybe here in this third game, masasanay na si Jao, masasanay na rin tayo seeing him with his new squad. 12 points built on 11 attacks and 1 ace as they try to bounce back in this match for another win. Let's invite our viewers to tune in also on our social media accounts. Just use the hashtag SPikersturfPh2026 if you want to join in our conversation on the different platforms, X and TikTok and Instagram. So we'll see you there. And in just a bit, we'll give you the matchup between the SAVOUGE Aesthetics and Alpha Insurance as we turn you over to the venue announcer for the start of this match.
Volleyball fans, good evening and welcome to the last match of our Sunday triple header in your Spikers Turf 2026 Open Conference, where power meets passion. We're on to our match number 8 in the preliminary round. This is the matchup between the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors and their opponents across the net, the Alpha Insurance Protectors. Let's meet our two referees in charge for this match. The first referee is Ms. Jocelyn Del Rosario, International Referee. And the second referee is Mr. Patrick Castillo, National Referee. Introducing first, the starters of the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. Beginning with their outside hitter number 1, Shawi Caritativo. Middle blocker number 4, Giles Torres. Opposite spiker number 6, Mark Calado. Center number 11, JC Enarciso. Outside hitter number 21, Louis Ramirez. Middle blocker number 25, JP Bugawan. And their starting libero is number 5, Rico Marmeto. The head coach of the Spin Doctors is Sidney Calderon. Presenting the starting lineup of the Alpha Insurance Protectors. Beginning with their team captain, outside hitter number 15, Edward Camposano. Opposite spiker number 1, JM Ronquillo. Middle blocker number 3, Billy Anima. Middle blocker number 8, Raymond Sabanal. Outside hitter number 11, Jao Umandal. Center number 23, Sian Silang. And their starting libero is number 4, Maru Takeda. The head coach of the Insurance Protectors is Mr. Mike Santos.
Check out the starters for the SAVOUGE Aesthetic Spin Doctors. No changes on the lineup of Coach Sidney Calderon. Ito rin yung starting unit na ginamit nila in their win against the 3B Event Masters production. Meanwhile, for the Alpha Insurance Protectors, also the usual names, but the insertion of Ray Sabanal for this one. And again, new faces, JM Ronquillo, Jao Omandal facing familiar faces like Louis Ramirez. We know they were just competing in the same team last conference, but it's a new era, it's a change for them, and as you mentioned, pang-inang laro na to, so getting used to their new teams as well.
So that's going to be interesting how familiarity will be in display later on against this former teammates.
So we are underway. Thank you so much for joining us on the Pilipinas Live app. Dip Dipiaco with Ayel Estranero and Bailey's Aquat, your broadcast team for this Sunday final match of your triple header. The first point already being contested. Which Mike Santos saying they will challenge for a block touch.
That's a very early challenge here. It's just the first point, but Anima seems so convinced that there was a block touch, asking the coaching staff to call for that challenge. Good call from Billy Anima. That's going to be a successful challenge for Alpha Insurance.
A good challenge for their team. First point on the side of the Protectors. At babawi with a powerful spike from Mark Calado.
Mark Calado left with only one blocker there. Easy outing that time.
If there are new faces, they're also mainstays for SAVOUGE Aesthetics. One of them, Shawi Caritativo. Who served that one. Nice play, but attack violation on Jao Mandal.
Familiar sight there, Jao Mandal. Always has been activated from the back row, but this time stepping on the line. That's gonna be a free point for the Spin Doctors.
Nakatapak lang ng bahagya. Ronquillo will respond for Alpha Insurance, so all even at 2.
And if you take a look at the players on the court for both teams having all the weapons in terms of offense, so it will also boil down to the first ball and the playmaking of the setters.
Yeah. Speaking of playmaking, middle activated for SAVOUGE Aesthetics.
Torres hammering that one in. Take a second look at that. Angling that one perfectly to avoid the blocking.
3-2. Silang goes to Umandal on that strong spike as well.
You know, we're just seeing clean attack so far. Both teams unable to get the touches this time. A big gap in between the blockers, fully utilized by Umandal.
Talked about him earlier At the top of the coverage, JP Bugawan will respond.
And I have a feeling this is gonna be the story of this match, a seesaw battle between SAVOUGE and Alpha Insurance, just exchanging power attacks.
I mean, before you begin a match, you look at the lineup of both teams, diba? Medyo may pakiramdam ka na as Jao Mandal continues to fire. And for both teams, they have the star power, they have players who are capable of scoring in bunches. So again, as we mentioned, this could be
A long one.
a long one.
It really depends on who's able to keep the momentum going here. But so far, so good for both squads.
Oh, and Narciso also showing out. Ang tanong dito is, gusto ba nilang bigyan ka ng dalawang 5-setter dahil nakaisa ka na today?
Oh, aren't we counting 5-setters here, Dip?
Sige na, wag na. Wag na. 5-4 in favor of SAVOUGE Aesthetics. Louis Ramirez on deck. Silang waits for it, goes to the middle, and red. And this will be a 2-point lead. First time that exchange has ended. A while ago, we were back and forth.
Yep. Caritativo there, closing down sa Banal. It's going to be an impact play. As we mentioned, clean attacks coming before that.
Service long for Louis Ramirez.
Consistency will matter here also. That's just the first error we're seeing here. Both teams trying to play it clean.
Service out for Jao Mandal. So, a couple of errors from both teams.
High risk, high reward, and then serve for Mandal.
7-5. Caritativo, naapangan si Silang, nilipat sa kaliwa, and Camposano scores.
The wing attackers of both teams have been unstoppable. Camposano that time perfectly avoiding the blockers. Take a look at that. Almost a cut shot.
Isa rin itong si Camposano, who has been with the team for the past couple of conferences with Alpha Insurance. Ramirez gets the rebound from that, and Caritativo scores off the block.
That was worthy of a celebration. 3 blockers unable to close down Caritativo.
As we go to the first technical timeout, one more time before we head to the break. And Shawi puts SAVOUGE up by 2.
You're still watching the 2026 Spikers Turf Open Conference, Alpha Insurance Protectors versus the SAVOUGE Aesthetic Spin Doctors. Let's talk about Alpha Insurance and one of their key veterans, Christian Selang, who has also been part of Vice Cosmetics since 2017. Part na po siya ng ating Spikers Turf family. And since 2023, he has been a part of the FEU coaching staff as a skills coach. So I asked him about the difference in mindset in terms of preparing for a game and playing the game of volleyball in general, being a coach and a player. And he shared to me that there's just a deeper understanding of the game. Mas lumawak lang talaga yung knowledge, and he uses it as an advantage, being 1 or 2 steps ahead. But iba pa rin daw talaga pag player mode. He doesn't see things as objectively as a coach. He just lets his game flow, believes in the work that he puts in, and no matter what uniform he wears, he's just happy to be on the hard court. Dip and AL?
Thanks so much, Baileys. Kaya pala hindi nakakapanibago kay Silang. You know? Yun din yung colors niya when he played in college, diba? Even now that he's part of the coaching staff of FEU. And now,
who just won earlier against Adamson.
Double duty rin si Criss Silang this time on the court. Long rally this time ended with a block from Alpha Insurance.
That's going to be huge for Alpha Insurance. A couple of clean attacks coming from SAVOUGE in the past few sequences. This time, they're able to close down Mark Calado. Anima saying, not in my watch.
Yeah. Down by 2.
Ooh.
Ooh, no blocker inside.
And our Seesaw has been leveling up in terms of playmaking. Just a perfect combination play. All blockers jumping with Torres. What a sequence.
Good serve, broken play. Zhao, easy over. And our Seesaw this time goes to Ramirez. And Billy Anima says, again, not on his watch.
And I mean, JM Ronquillo also in that blocking sequence, showing a lot of familiarity in the tendencies of Louis Ramirez.
That serve doesn't go over for Camposano though.
Camposano wanted to play it smart, wanting to go for a short serve. But that's going to be a service error for Alpha Insurance.
Mandal off the block. That's the point.
And we mentioned it on top of the coverage. In moments like this, when Alpha Insurance is desperate for a point, we can expect Silang to go to Jao Mandal. And so far, he has been responding well.
Yeah, the last conference, 2025 Invitational, Jao Mandal was the second best outside spiker among his other awards in the league. Oh, net defense has been great for Alpha Insurance here in the first set.
They want to close down Louis Ramirez. Ramirez had the most points in their previous match against 3V Event Masters.
That's 3 blocks now for the Protectors as a team. Timeout for SAVOUGE Aesthetics.
Ang dami nilang block sa ating walang nagko-cover. Ha? Again, pwede nating i-recycle, pwede natin takpik pag ganun. Ha? Okay, tara. Hey, one team! SAVOUGE! Ano yung cover na?
Coach Sydney pointing out that yes, andun yung block ng Alpha Insurance, but we can also cover and recycle the rally, and that's what they need right now because Louis Ramirez has been checked.
Yeah.
They have to make sure they have that coverage.
Good adjustment on the part of Alpha Insurance, especially nung nakalibre si Caritativo.
Right.
They didn't let that happen again. Oh, Calado. That's the point for SAVOUGE. Good answer coming from the timeout.
All right, on the line there for Mark Calado, going sharp cross. The spin doctor still up by 2 points.
Mark Calado now serving. Umandal. Cross court. Then it works for Zhao.
Now, Mandal has been unstoppable so far. And you can just sense that Silang wants a point, and that's why he has been going to Jao Mandal. So far, so good.
Leading the way for Alpha Insurance. In our seesaw, back set, Calado. That one goes through the blockers.
Too much power in that attack of Calado. Going in between the blockers. Good option for Narciso. I mean, Louis Ramirez has struggled to convert the point so far. Calado having the hot hands.
3 points now for Mark Calado. Good serve from Ramirez. It's back with the black shirts. And a super spike. Plus that fist pump from Mark Calado. Oh, he is fired up.
He is indeed. And you got to love the effort of Narciso to take advantage of the momentum that Calado has right now. Take a look at that. Camposano unable to contain that attack.
3-point lead. It's an ace for Louis Ramirez.
Another mini run here for the Spin Doctors. As you mentioned earlier, Dip, a good time out from Coach Sydney.
Nababasa man yung atake niya, no? He hasn't been getting the points in attacks, but that time, getting his first point from the service line. This time, a better ball. They get to it. Umandal breaks the block.
Escalado has warmed up and is heated up on the side of the Spin Doctors. Jao Umandal has stepped on the gas from the get-go. Take a look at that. Can't leave a loose block against Jao Umandal.
Tatlo ang hinahabol ng Alpha Insurance, 12-15. Good ball from Armeto. Konting delay, hang time from Bugawan doesn't work. Camposano, they need to send it over to avoid 4 touches, and that's what they do. Camposano, the drop.
That was just smart for Camposano. All floor defenders waiting for a power hit. Camposano just finding that hole right behind the blockers.
I felt that the defense was also hindi sobrang organized because they were coming from a scramble.
Yeah.
Back-to-back points for the Protectors. Bugawan, that one off the block.
We haven't seen a lot of middle activation, but that one will do for Bugawan.
As we go to the second technical timeout.
Siyempre, kahit pa paano malungkot din ako sa pagkawala ng signal miss kasi siyempre, isa yun sa gusto din namin talunin talaga. Pero happy ako tsaka excited na makatrabaho ulit sila. Especially sila ko JP Bugawan and Louie Ramirez. And sobrang laking additional talaga nila sa team. And yun, nilook forward ko na mas sana lumakas yung team ngayon and makuha na talaga namin yung championship.
You heard Mark Calado in his thoughts about, of course, signal.
Yep.
Because of other reasons dahil gusto niya taluin, diba? And that's the competitive spirit in him, right? He wants, syempre, every athlete naman wants to compete against the best. But right now, some of those players are now his teammates again. And meron ding kalaban on the other side in this match. 2-point game, make that a 1-point lead after a solid block.
Again, Louie Ramirez was the best scorer in their previous match. So Alpha Insurance has made sure that they close him down and limit his numbers.
Ooh, but just when Alpha Insurance was lurking on the verge of tying it up, Sabanal commits a service error. Some breather for SAVOUGE with a 2-point lead. But it didn't look like there was a block touch. That was out. Coach Mike waves it off, says no to the player's request for a challenge. He saw that, no, he had a good angle.
Right. And right now, Spin Doctors looking to pull away.
Jao sets it up. Camposano, triple block. Walang dadaanan.
So Alpha Insurance will need to find a way to stabilize that first ball because their out-of-system attacks has been read well by SAVOUGE Spin Doctors.
And the Protectors are forced to call for timeout.
Nakasabay tayo eh. Tara, gawin na lang natin. Pag naman yung serve talagang sinashort. Abanti na natin kamay na yun. Sige, tara, let's go.
Lagi makawansap ha, lagi makawansap.
Pre, nakas mo yan. Alpha,
Go!
A quick side out, that's
what Alpha Insurance need, because they are able to keep the game close, but there are moments that they allow SAVOUGE to get a mini run, and that's what is happening right now. A 1-point lead is right now a 4-point lead, so a 4-2 run for SAVOUGE Spin Doctors.
It was only down to a single point.
Yep.
But then that service error, again, swung momentum. Camposano. Calado now. Sent back. Caritativo, another block. This time, it's a point for Alpha Insurance.
The net defense has been a bright spot here for Alpha Insurance. Yes, the middles are not getting a lot of sets because they are playing out of system, but Billy Anima has been working hard on that net defense.
You know, he has 4 points on 3 blocks. And that is too long for Mark Calado. They will request for a challenge though. Yung errors din kasi ng Alpha Insurance it has been hurting their cause here. 5 errors already as compared to SAVOUGE's 1.
And we talked about this earlier. Consistency is really gonna be key as well. We talked about how loaded, you know, the lineup of both teams.
Clearly inside on the line for Mark Calado. So a successful challenge for Coach Sidney Calderon and her team.
Momentum clearly on the side of the Spin Doctors. They are trying to control the set now.
Silang goes to Ronquillo. Off the block and into the antenna.
Alpha Insurance has been trying to pull down the confidence of Ramirez in this match.
Yeah, so far they've done a good job. Only 1 point for Louis. He gets the first ball. Torres will be the recipient of that set.
But it doesn't matter if Ramirez could not score the points because other players has been stepping up.
Yeah.
Talked about Caritativo and then Calado, and right now Torres.
Back set. Ronquillo had to come up with something.
Using all his strength to challenge the hands of Louis Ramirez.
Substitution here for Alpha Insurance. Billy Anima will sit. Mel Baptista now in to serve for the Protectors. That's a good set to Calado. Punches it home.
Mark Calado is on beast mode right now. Alpha Insurance still unable to figure him out. 6 points already for Mark Calado.
Iangat mo lang no? Siya na bahala. Joven de la Vega in the game for the Spin Doctors, one of their additions. He did not see action in that win against 3B. That is outside for Jao Mandal.
Alpha Insurance will challenge this one. And they will need every point they could get. A block touch challenge. They are hoping for sure to get this one successful.
Otherwise, it'll be tough to get back in the game. It looks clean, no block touch. And the ball went out, so that'll be a point for the Spin Doctors. Unsuccessful challenge for Coach Mike Santos. Nasa loob na rin si Imperial as the setter. And Umandal, babawi.
Jao Mandal has carried a bigger load of scoring here for Alpha Insurance.
More subs coming in for Alpha Insurance as we see Villegas and Cajolo.
Both teams opting for a double sub. They want a complete front row.
Also did not suit up in that loss against Criss Cross. Imperial, back set to De La Vega. Now you're so used to also seeing him with Navy.
Yep.
But we can get used to this too.
You can just imagine how loaded the offensive weapons of SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. And you don't have Mark Calado on the court, but you've got De La Vega.
Yeah. I mean, if there's any conference for them to really be legitimate contenders, this is it. They've got the pieces. And SAVOUGE will call for time just to make sure they're still up by 4.
Sabi, dulo ka na lang. Libre ka dito, ha? Isa lang dito. Hoy, sa 10 attempts, isa pa lang nagkakamali tayo dito. So ito yung pinakamataas na percentage ng attack natin, ha? Pero pag maganda, Japes, kunin mo. Sorry, ha?
Hey guys, we just need one good receive. Tara.
Again, Coach Sydney Calderon calling for the timeout just to regroup. The Spin Doctors are still on the lead, still 4 set points.
Serving is Jao Mandal, 20-24 here in set 1. That's a good one. An overpass. One more time. Oh, Cajolo couldn't put it away. And Caritativo will get the job done for SAVOUGE Spin Doctors.
The Spin Doctors were scrambling that time, but they were able to recycle, and Caritativo finishing it up.
Twice.
Yep.
There were chances for Alpha Insurance, but couldn't get the point. And the bump from Marmeto, Shawi does the rest. They take the opening set 25-20. We'll be back with the second after the break.
Roman numeral 7, babe, drop it like it's hot. If this world was mine, I'd take your dreams and make them multiply.
Back inside the Phil Center in San Juan for your 2026 Spikers Turf Open Conference. Set 1 just finished, and the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors taking that over the Alpha Insurance Protectors in a relatively comfortable fashion. They didn't really lose the lead. Dumikit yung Alpha Insurance for a while. They were down by 1, but then after the service error, dun na lumayo yung Spin Doctors.
That's right. Alpha Insurance was able to keep it close in the start, but when the Spin Doctors was able to find their momentum, they did not look back. And we have to mention in Narciso with the balanced playmaking so far, and that allowed the Spin Doctors to have 16 attack points against the 13 of Alpha Insurance. Again, the bright spot for Alpha Insurance is their net defense. 5 kill blocks against the 2 of the Spin Doctors, and Alpha Insurance, we mentioned it earlier, a lot of errors coming from their end. They have 6 against the 2 of the Spin Doctors. A really clean first set for the Spin Doctors.
For SAVOUGE in their last outing, their first game, this conference against 3B, there were no players in double digits, but they had a really balanced output from about 10 of those who saw action. Ang daming talagang nabalanse yung scoring nila, and they're showing that again in this game. So far so good for them as Torres gets the first attempt, but that is out.
But Narciso again opting for an early middle activation, and it has been working in splitting the blocks of Alpha Insurance.
By the way, balik na yung starters for both teams. Pinabawi. Sa kabila naman nilagay ni Torres, pero still wide.
And that's gonna be an early 2 free points for Alpha Insurance.
And that's important for the protectors na makauna.
Yep.
Sa set. Ronquillo, oh, that goes back to him.
He tried to power through that net defense, but it was already towering against him. Take a look at that.
Yeah, wala na rin lulusutan, no?
Yep.
Hirap.
Calado will be credited with that kill block.
Oh, these errors have been hurting SAVOUGE early.
Yep. Already 3 errors. 2 from attack points. 2 from attacks rather, and 1 from the service line.
That's inside for Edward Camposano on a service ace, and an early timeout for SAVOUGE.
Okay, di bale, huwag tayong mag-focus sa error. Huwag niyong madaliin na makahabol tayo dyan. Let's do it one game at ano lang, 1 ball at a time.
Yes.
1 kill at a time lang tayo. Huwag tayo
amin na yun.
Hey, one team!
SAVOUGE!
Let's take a second look on that. Service ace of Camposano right on the line.
Sabi ni Coach Sidney sa timeout, diba, wag nilang madaliin. They can be patient. This is still a long set. Simula pa lang tayo.
Right, but for our Alpha Insurance, they want to protect this lead and momentum right away.
Dahil nga protectors sila, no? Galing mo dun, eh.
Mas magaling ka doon.
Mark Calado, or rather Louis Ramirez, getting that point for the Spin Doctors.
Timeout has been working really for the Spin Doctors. Responding right away, I was gonna say, but Torres with another error this time from the service line.
Yeah, and Alpha Insurance, I mean, no complaints from them. They'll take that at any time of day.
Yep.
These errors of SAVOUGE really helping them out. Ramirez again off the block, and it sails out.
Ramirez putting on his power in that attack. Again, blockers were there, able to establish, but hands weren't pressed in for Sabanal.
Silang brings it to Umandal, putting some spin. Bodies on the floor for SAVOUGE, but they couldn't keep the ball up.
But you've got to admire the never say die attitude on that floor defense for the Spin Doctors. Jao Mandal going for that off-speed attack, forcing the floor defense of the Spin Doctors to scramble.
Ronquillo now serving outside for JM.
And that's something Alpha Insurance will need to polish up quickly here. They gave away 6 free points, most of it coming from the service line.
Sabanal. Finally, he gets one.
And this is what was lacking from Alpha Insurance in set number 1, the activation of the middles with a stable passing there from Jao Mandal. Silang able to give Sabanal a chance to deliver a point.
Now you feel that Silang will just try to set up all of his teammates. Feed the ball. That time going to the middle, Caritativo. Naibalik. Back to Shawi. Dug by Umandal. Camposano with an extra step. Putting some spin. Caritativo again this time. Powers the way through.
And it has been the power in the attacks of the Spin Doctor. 7th point there for Caritativo.
Yeah, tied with Mark Calado. Leading the way for SAVOUGE. Sabi nga ni Coach Sidney, dahan-dahan lang. Only down by 2 here. Kept alive by Narciso. Play on. Shawi with a run. Silang looks at the options. Camposano. Boy pa, he thought he was down. Chris, back to Edward. Then again, the effort from the Spin Doctors. That's a nice dig from Manato and the kill. After a long rally, courtesy of Jao Umandal. They will take us to the first technical timeout. Alpha Insurance up by 3.
You're still watching the 2026 Spikers Turf Open Conference. Alpha Insurance Protectors versus the SAVOUGE Aesthetic Spin Doctors. Let's talk about the Spin Doctors in their latest addition. Louis Ramirez was only added to the team last February 2, a few days after saying bye to his prior team Signal. And initially, Louis had a difficult time accepting not hailing red and white anymore. A lot of tears shed, but Louis feels overwhelmed with the warm welcome. Grabe daw yung paikisama ng SAVOUGE Aesthetic sa kanya, and Louis added that the team's energy is truly different. He cannot deny the positive energy that they have. They're more energetic, and Louis admits na mataas nga ang expectations sa kanya. He wasn't told, but he did feel it. He has felt it. And he confidently says that the pressure isn't new to him. He wants to use this as fuel for inspiration, and a different Louis will be introduced in this season, in this conference, and he feels strongly about how he'll be able to showcase more of himself and contribute more to the Spin Doctors. Back to you, Dipanel.
Thanks, Baileys, for that report. Well, Louis Ramirez, you know, I'm sure as Billy Anima breaks that solo block, I mean, the Signal Super Spikers formerly, when they had to transfer teams, mahirap yan, diba? I mean, they've spent time with the same team, won championships, a lot of games. So it's a difficult transition, but one that is also very welcome. Torres says, tama na yung usapan. Grabe yun.
That's worthy of a second look. Take a look at that. Wow, just a perfect execution of a quick play.
He too suited up for Signal before. Just sa mga naunang lumipat sa SAVOUGE along with Calado. That's a point from Caritativo to cut the lead down to a single point.
And there's a certain switch on the side of the Spin Doctors that whenever they turn it on, they're on the go right away. Just a 1-point lead now for Alpha Insurance.
Onquillo, that one checked. Bit dangerous on the play. And Calado ties it up at 9.
We have to mention that a quick attack of Torres could have been an impact play, turning the tables here. Spin Doctors playing with more intensity right now.
3-0 run for the Spin Doctors. Alpha Insurance, they need to answer. Louis with a save. Calado on the drop. Manato picks it up. Umandal from the pipe.
Jao Mandal has been the answer here for Alpha Insurance, especially in terms of offense. He has been asking for those sets from the back row. And again, he responds positively with another point.
So they maintain the lead here, 10-9. But the service error for Camposano.
And that's gonna hurt because that has been the trend here for Alpha Insurance. They have been hurting their own momentum here through their service errors.
Set to Mandal. 10 points for Jao Umandal.
Mandal also trying to hype up his team. Jao Mandal hasn't slowed down at all.
And Narciso, combination. Nabasa. Ball slowed down. Jao. A step to the right. Marmeto bumps it back to Mark. Extension from Anima, and Bugawan puts it away.
Now that's just deadly when you give a regalo straight to the hands of Bugawan. A good stretch there though coming from Anima to keep that rally alive, but Bugawan had the opportunity to put it down.
Another deadlock here. Calado serving 11 all. And they go to Sabanal. So every time SAVOUGE ties the game up, nakakabawi agad yung Alpha Insurance.
And you see lang also with a more balanced playmaking. Yes, Jao Umandal delivers majority of the points, but there are more involvement coming from the other attackers.
Almost an ace. Free ball. Silang goes back to Sabanal. Back to back.
And the spin doctor is unable to even just get a touch on that ball of Sabanal. Clean attacks coming from the middle. Silang putting some trust on the middle blockers.
That doesn't go over for Ronquillo. This time it's them getting the service errors.
Yep. Stopping their own momentum yet again.
Ramirez also commits a service error.
Again, you can't also serve soft. You want to be aggressive on the service line because a soft serve is like a chance ball.
Oo. Want to be aggressive on the first line of attack.
Yep.
And Narciso sets up the play. And Caritativo scores.
The spin doctors just having more consistent scorers on their end. Caritativo has been a go-to player, but not a single player has to carry the load of scoring on the side of the spin doctors. Everyone able to step up.
Silang tosses to Camposano. That was wide, but may check. And I think SAVOUGE will challenge for a block touch. Yeah.
Well, and Narciso was saying that there's no block touch.
So let's see, based on the challenge here.
Yep, they will need this point though. Talking about the spin doctors, they are still trailing by 2 points.
No block touch, but a counter challenge for Alpha Insurance in a net fold. Mukhang mas kumpiyansa sila dito sa challenge na to. They probably saw something there.
SAVOUGE was sure that there was no block touch. They get it successful, but Alpha Insurance seeing something else in that sequence. All players there waiting for the result of the challenge.
Yeah. Although they are arguing na bumaba na yung bola, but too tight, too close to tell.
So point will stay with Alpha Insurance.
Yeah. Good challenge for the Protectors. Still up by 2. Caritativo on the drop. Smart move.
But Ronquillo able to read that one just a little bit late and going for that pancake save. But you have to credit Caritativo for finding a way to score, slowing things down.
Zhao from behind. That will take us to the second technical timeout. They're up by 2.
Dagdag excitement kasi labas to sa comfort zone ko na nakasanayan ko nung 2 years. So medyo iba yung feeling ngayon, mas parang eager na na mapatunayan na kaya din ng ibang teams na mag-level up. So this year, yun yung goal muna namin, Final 4, then step by step lang muna. So 1 game at a time.
2-point game here in set 2. SAVOUGE still playing catch-up. But Alpha Insurance, they've made adjustments. Defended better, and the attacks of Umandal still going down now with 12 points. 6 in set 1 and 6 in set 2.
Well, Zhao Mandal has been the solution here for Alpha Insurance. Again, even from the back row, he has been scoring.
Yun na yung output niya nung last match against Criss Cross. So now he has tied that number. And the Protectors are jumping up and down because this is now their biggest lead again in set 2.
Playing very loose right now is Alpha Insurance. Meanwhile, SAVOUGE starting to feel the pressure.
Counter run here for Alpha Insurance.
Side out there for Caritativo, swiping that through the hands of Ronquillo. A 3-point lead for Alpha Insurance, still not a safe one.
Oh, Zhao has been having a field day from the back.
I'm sure he knew that he's gonna be an important factor here in terms of scoring for Alpha Insurance. So far, he has been stepping up, talking about Zhao Mandal, but we have a footfall challenge right now.
Well, let's see if SAVOUGE will get this right.
This is a common challenge on Zhao Mandal when he attacks from the back row, but earlier they had a successful challenge, but right now seems like Zhao Mandal also confident that it was a good approach.
Yeah. It could also just be, I was about to say, them trying to stop momentum, and they also call a timeout to prolong this break. So let's hear their timeout.
Ang kulang talaga sa atin, maraming bumababa sa likod, hindi tayo nakakadepensa ng maayos. Okay? Try natin, double time tayo sa blockings. Kung hindi tayo makakuha sa baba, double time tayo sa blockings. Training natin yan. Okay, tara.
Okay, walang bitaw, ha, kapit! Hey, one team!
Already that second timeout for the Spin Doctors. Again, they have been trailing almost all throughout this set. Alpha Insurance trying to control this one and equalize.
Yeah. Still a safe lead right now for Alpha Insurance unless SAVOUGE makes a run. Now is the time as Louis Ramirez scores his 4th point. Relatively quiet still. Sabi nga niya, di ba, yung pressure, he feels it because of the expectations from him.
Right.
Can he deliver here in the clutch? Speaking of clutch, Jao Mandal, how many points does he have? 8 points in set 2 for a total of 14.
He is on a mission here in set number 2, and Silang has been exclusively going to Jao Mandal. Still no answers, even on the floor defense of the Spin Doctors.
In comes Baptista to serve. And JP Bugawan is blocked. Sabanal, his teammates enjoying that one.
I mean, that must feel so good for Sabanal, closing down one of the best middles here in Bugawan.
5 na ang abante ng Alpha Insurance. That was tight. Then kept alive though by SAVOUGE. Camposano. Medyo alanganin yun. Ramirez. Outside, no touch.
Yeah, that was clear. Ramirez was way above the blockers, wanting to go for the touches, unable to do so.
Lead has ballooned to 6. The transfer to the opposite, dug by Silam. Ronquillo, that was picked up. Triple block, and it was called out. Alpha Insurance says it was in. They will call for a challenge, ball in or ball out.
Blocking and floor defense has been working here for Alpha Insurance. We have to mention they have limited the numbers of Calado and Caritativo in this set.
And they got a boost at the start of the set dahil sa mga errors nung SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. So nakauna sila sa lamang, and I think that gave them confidence to get this big lead already in the second set.
And Jao Mandal also.
Yeah, I mean, we have to give credit to him.
Yep. And that connection with Silang just paying off in this set for Alpha Insurance.
That's because they never left each other. Lumipat lang ng team. Oh, that's so close. It looked like it touched the line.
And that's going to be a good call for Silang for telling the coaches right away that it was in. He was in the best position to get a good eye on that.
(23-16) here in set 2. Alpha Insurance are 2 points away. Calado. Oh, that one. Unguardable. Camposano tried his best.
Yep. I mean, that was high enough for a second touch. Unfortunately, also for Ronquillo, not in the best position to maneuver.
Balik si Joven de la Vega sa loob. See that again.
Again, Calado, when he's in a good position, you know it's going to be a power hit.
Also, Kim Deandante in for the first time. Bugawan reads that against his former teammate.
A rare combination play too.
It's funny because they're getting some warnings for first referee. Pero alam mo, ano lang yan eh, asarang magkaibigan.
Yep.
Umandal putting some spin. Just enough spice on that to put Alpha Insurance at set point.
And it's the variety of attacks coming from Umandal, winning right now against that net defense and even the floor defense of the Spin Doctors. Take a look at that. Very simple attack yet highly effective for the Protectors.
Yeah, you rarely see that from him. Dahil sanay tayo sa mga power hits ni Umandal. That one was out for Ronquillo. One set point saved for SAVOUGE. They need 5 more though. No room for error. Captain Hiro Austria will try to save them. Had 3 points off the bench in their last outing. Good pickup. Ronquillo. That was long. Boy pa.
Some errors there. Coach Mike almost calling a timeout. Jao Mandal saying isa pa. Let's see who Silang will go to in the sequence.
2 set points saved now for SAVOUGE. This time they go to Jao. Enough power in that. Sumobra yung set. It was out. And the Alpha Insurance Protectors equalize. 1 set apiece against SAVOUGE, 25-20.
Welcome back, Alpha Insurance. Able to equalize here. 25-20 in set number 2. A good start there for Alpha Insurance. They capitalized on the errors of the Spin Doctors in the start, and that allowed them to find their momentum right away, and they tried their best to control the set. We have to mention that net defense and their floor defense, but Jao Umandal clearly the hero of that set in terms of attacking, finding all ways, finding all angles to score. A couple of help also in that net defense. Sabanal stepped up on that department. But if you take a look at the numbers, very close in all departments, the same number of blocks and aces, but it really did boil down to consistency. The Spin Doctors committing more error. They have 9, most of it coming earlier into the set. Meanwhile, Alpha Insurance with only 5 errors. And again, it was the execution of Alpha Insurance that allowed them to get set number 2.
Yeah, those service errors at the start of the second set for SAVOUGE really hurt them in that second set. So let's see how they bounce back. They have to limit that, of course, dito sa set 3. But again, we have to talk about the great effort of Jao Umandal, scoring from everywhere. Variation of attacks made it hard for the defenders of SAVOUGE to read that. So he's a big reason as to why Alpha Insurance are able to equalize. Para naman sa Spin Doctors, they are still relying on Caritativo and Calado, who have 11 points each. Maybe Ramirez has to do some more for their team, but so far he's being checked. So tingnan natin kung makakarami siya in this third set. For the Protectors also behind Umandal, sa Banal, nabanggit mo siya kanina, diba? He had some important plays that gave them momentum in the third set. So let's see how this will play out. And again, could be long, diba? 1-1 na tayo dito sa ating laro. SAVOUGE Aesthetics.
As expected, we mentioned on top of the coverage, these are 2 teams who are contenders. This confidence, the Alpha Insurance already started, you know, their conference well. They are new, but they have some added firepower in their new players. Meanwhile, on the side of the Spin Doctors, they have been playing here in the Spikers Turf for a while now. Team chemistry, definitely not a question. Yes, they have new players, but they have mainstays that have been really helping out. But Calado and Caritativo a little bit quiet in set number 2.
Yeah.
Let's see if they'll be able to bounce back.
New players on the floor now for the Spin Doctors. Dan Nicolas is in the game. And they will begin with Kim Dayan Dante as their setter. Libero also in Diones will see action.
Coach Sydney clearly looking for a spark plug. Meanwhile, the same players on the side of Alpha Insurance.
Yeah. And when you suffer those set losses, that's when you think twice, no? Biglang mapapaisip ka sa rotation mo. So let's see how this will work out for Coach Sydney. We begin set 3. And Umandal commits an attack error.
A rare one for Umandal, at least for this match. Playing at a high percentage here, talking about Umandal.
Calado, that one is also out, no check.
I mean, for the Spin Doctors, they started with attack errors earlier. They want to avoid that here in the start of set number 3.
Then Dante will toss it up to Calado.
Calado with that bounce back point. Let's take a second look on that. Then Dante with the reverse set, and Calado able to capitalize on a single block.
Ganun kalalim yung bench din ng SAVOUGE, no? You see Kim Dayan Dante as their third setter.
You mentioned earlier, walang double-digit scorers sa Spin Doctors in their previous match.
Yeah.
Everyone just chipping in the points. But so far it has been Calado delivering here in the start.
This time, may mga nangunguna. Calado and Caritativo, 12 and 11 points respectively. Ito nakailag si Coach Sydney. But also there was a check. I was on the way to their bench.
And that's the intention. That was the intention of Jao Umandal from the start. Not a lot of risk action in that attack. It was clearly a flat ball to the hands of the blockers.
Kala ko intention diretso yun sa bench eh. Muntik nang ma-strike out eh. But let's see, maybe the block touch caused that direction for the attack of Jao Umandal.
But you can just sense, even though it's just the start of set number 3, the momentum and confidence are clearly on the side of Alpha Insurance, something that the Spin Doctors will have to build here. As this is an important set for both teams.
Only in our 3rd game day in this open conference. Prior to this Sunday, it was all straight sets, including the first match. But then the game before this, yun yung humaba. Looked like that pointer.
Yep.
That right index finger did it. It might have. We'll see the result. Yeah, it was called yes for a block touch.
Jao Umandal was confident that there was a block touch. Just unfortunate for the Spin Doctors to lose one challenge very early here in set number 3.
Oh, maaga pa. They lose one challenge and resume action here with Billy Anima serving. But because of that long lull, medyo nanlamig siguro si Anima. That one sails out. Dan Nicolas, former Fighting Maroon, now serving. 4-2 is our score. Take that 5-2 after the point by the Spin Doctors.
Second look at that, a reverse set. Andrew Kilio again with an attack error.
Silang reverses to the opposite back to Ronquillo. Nicolas gets it. Calado, oh, Dan with a good stretch. Mark again, but nobody home for SAVOUGE this time.
I mean, it started to become predictable there. 2 blockers really just staying with Mark Calado, who has been having the hot hands right now. Jao Umandal again not leaving Calado that time and finally getting the kill block.
Yeah.
And some swab.
That's why I need the activation of Louis, di ba? Para medyo mawala rin yung focus kay Calado.
Huwag ka na magsalita ha, para maiwasan yung pagkakaroon ng ano ha. Mag-shake hands kayo na.
There you go. The first referee saying na bawas-bawasan yung mga extra kaganapan sa loob ng court.
We saw that from the replay earlier from Jao Umandal.
Play on here. Oh, Dayan Dante. Last second, tried to ditch pero hindi na naalis yung kamay niya.
And he knew it right away. There was a certain level of regret from Dayan Dante that he wasn't able to pull his arm right away. So that scraped him there.
Serve sails out.
Kilio so far having an off day here.
Good first ball.
The dig from Diones.
Ramirez had to stay back. Regalo para kay Louis after that over dig.
Talikod ka lang ha, talikod ka lang. Sumigaw ka pero
Mga ilan kaya yung ma-awardan dito sa...
Some swords. And you also understand because...
Last na mangyayari yun ha. Pakikontrol yung team sa loob ha. Sa susunod, bibigay na ako ng puro sanction na yun ha. Sana maiwasan natin yan ha. Control yung team sa loob.
That's the last warning.
Well, it's getting out of hand here because of how good this two teams are playing right now. Just really at a very competitive level.
Leon is apologizing to Coach Sydney. I don't think Coach Sydney minds, honestly, but it's the referee's call.
Yep.
Ayun na. Talikod na raw, sabi. Ramirez, ramdam ko yung pagtigil niya dun. As we go to the first technical timeout, 8-4 in favor of SAVOUGE.
You're still watching the 2026 Spikers Turf Open Conference, and let's talk about Alpha Insurance Protectors, Billy Anima. Billy Anima, a pro volleyball player and pro volleyball coach, much like his kuya, his teammate Christian Silang. Billy is under the Alpha Insurance Protectors his third season already and 2 years as a trainer and statistician for the NX-led Chameleons. And his usual routine, his daily routine goes about from 5 to 7 a.m. training with Alpha Insurance, 1 to 5 p.m. with NX-led, and 4 to 7 p.m. again with Alpha Insurance. And sometimes, yes, nag-overlap yung training and work, but he's found a compromise for this, and he admits that it can be exhausting, but to Billy, he loves what he does not want to trade it for anything else, and he has never had to adjust being an insurance protector. He loves being a part of the team. He does not want to regret anything that is given to him. Seizing opportunities is important for Billy, and playing and coaching seems to be a trend nowadays. Dipinael, your thoughts?
Yeah, thanks, Bailey's actually in talaga, buhay volleyball, which we admire from the players here in Spikers Turf. Nabanggit nga ni Bailey's, diba? Yung schedule ni Billy, I'm sure it's super hectic being part of a coaching staff sa ibang team, sa ibang liga. But then, this is their passion.
And that's how much they love volleyball.
And this is where power meets passion. Ika nga, di ba? Kaya,
on cue.
nagsasama-sama yung mga coaches. They can be coaches in the same team, but playing for different squads. So, a lot of overlapping intersections here dito sa ating liga, which is good for everyone as long as they're able to
balance,
fulfill their commitments. Camposano scores. They need more of that.
The Spin Doctors has been on the lead. Alpha Insurance playing catch-up, but that's going to be an impact play there. Only one blocker against Camposano.
Shawi had to take an extra look at that. Not the best set.
Then Dante also apologizing. He knew that was too tight. Just difficult for Caritativo.
Then Dante goes middle. Nabasa. Second try for the black shirts, and Shawi scores.
Caritativo challenging 3 blockers there. So finding a way to get through. There you go. Going for the forehand of Silang.
Tatakot ako for them eh. Anytime baka pwedeng...
Yellow card na yan eh. They're more careful now.
Yeah.
Not staring straight to the opponent.
Too long for Calado.
Errors here on the side of the Spin Doctors, helping out Alpha Insurance a little bit to get closer.
Kim transfers. Calado. Better look.
That approach and that contact and that finish from Calado just seemed impossible to be defended on the side of Alpha Insurance.
Silang to Zhao. Kim goes to Shawi, the blockbuster.
Caritativo yet again. We mentioned it earlier before the start of the set. Calado and Caritativo were quiet in set number 2, but right now they have got the hot hands.
Grabe yung turn, ha?
Slow-mo na slow-mo.
Oh, great dig by Dayandante. The setup by Dionis. Nicolas, too eager to send that away.
And that's going to be a free point for Alpha Insurance. For the Protectors, they have been relying on the errors of the Spin Doctors right now. They need to find a way to get their attackers going.
Then Dante, nilipat ulit. Calado, Zhao, trying to get that, but it went straight into the antenna.
And that was smart for Mark Calado to capitalize on that hands of Umandal, which was really close to the antenna, so that was a smart move.
14-9. Good serve. Dionis ran after that. Louis, easy over. JM attacks, scores.
Well, that's going to be an important point there for Alpha Insurance. Silang has been trying to look for a player with the hot hands, but that's going to do for now. Ronquillo getting a point.
Inangat para kay Louis. Marmeto for the coverage. Nicolas from the middle.
Dayandante with a smooth playmaking right now, choosing the right attacker. Activating Nicolas there, leaving him with only one blocker.
Set up to Umandal using his offhand. Over set there by Calado. Play on. Criss back sets to JM. Shawi covers it. Ramirez flies.
Wow,
What a dig by Manato. We go on. A solid rejection.
And you can sense the intensity getting higher and higher here for both teams. Mark Calado. Take a look at that solid rejection coming from Alpha Insurance. Sabanal will be credited with that kill block.
Four-point game. Kim able to feed it to Ramirez.
A faster set that time from Dayandante. A loose block from Alpha Insurance.
As we go to the second technical timeout, SAVOUGE up by 5.
It's 10 out of 10 kasi kahit nag-LOA ang signal, still makapaglaro ako sa new team ng SAVOUGE. So sobrang excited ako na maipakita kung ano yung mga pinag-ensayuhan namin this past month entering the SpikersSturfph conference.
JP Bogawan, multi-awarded middle blocker, now with the SAVOUGE Aesthetic Spin Doctors, and again, ilang weeks pa lang, di ba? Parang halos isang buwan pa lang sila nagte-training with their new squad. So, all the more as we progress dito sa ating conference, mas magiging swabe yung
Right.
galawan nila with their new team.
They are adjusting still for sure. De La Vega and Narciso in for the Spin Doctors on the double sub.
5-point lead for them. Umandal gets the point.
He has been quiet for a little bit.
Yeah.
Well in the back row, but right now,
I mean, 9 points in set 2, pero tatlo pa lang siya dito sa third set. And Narciso able to set it up to De La Vega. Short for Caholo.
Caholo also hesitating on that approach, mistiming that attack.
Spin Doctors also dominating the attack points here in this set. 11-5. Another point for SAVOUGE.
And the errors of Alpha Insurance also really not helping out them finding their momentum here.
As Coach Mike Santos will regroup his team.
Tayo. Ha? Huwag niyo madali. Tara. Let's go.
Pasa mo na. Alba. The doors.
Coach Mike saying, huwag madaliin because that's the last thing they want right now. I'm sure they are eager to close this gap, but they need to play in their own pace, talking about Alpha Insurance.
And build the habits that they could carry in the next set. Maybe that should be their focus too. Kept alive. And Narciso to Ramirez. Clips the net. But it looks like he stepped on the line. So a football challenge will be requested by Alpha Insurance. And parang alam din ni Louie eh.
But Caritativo was saying, wala. But let's see. For Alpha Insurance, they will need a successful challenge here. They are desperate for a point. The Spin Doctors are pulling away. It's currently a 7-point lead for the Spin Doctors.
They're trying to make it 2-0 dito sa ating open conference. Meanwhile, Alpha Insurance looking to improve their record to 2-1 after getting their first loss against Criss Cross King Crunchers last Friday. Oh, so close.
Successful challenge there, but Coach Sydney tried to check it.
Yeah, technical committee says unsuccessful. Sometimes kasi what we show, the resolution on TV is different from what they see in their screen. So, sabi ni Shawi, babawiin ko na lang.
Quick side outs has been working here for the Spin Doctors. Yes, Alpha Insurance could get a point, but they're not able to make runs. 14th point already for Caritativo here in this match.
Nagpapalitan lang sila ni Mark Calado eh. Calado also has 14. Caholo scores.
And Caholo squeezing that one in between the blockers. Again, some sparks coming from Alpha Insurance, just like this attack of Caholo, but they will need to make a run at this point. because SAVOUGE has been leading all the way.
Ronquillo back on the floor for the protectors. That one was wide for Joven de la Vega. Natawag ng timeout si Coach Sidney Calderon.
Let's play side-out game.
Okay.
Huwag kayong mag-doubt sa sarili nyo. Pag binigyan kayo ng bola, paluin. Huwag kayong matakot. Magko-cover, may susupport sa inyo. Tara.
Coach Sidney reminding the players that let's play a side-out game. Yun yung ginagawa nila kanina. That's the reason why they are on the lead right now. They don't want to allow Alpha Insurance to get their momentum going.
De la Vega this time was roofed. But you want to keep him giving the balls to him para to build this confidence.
Right. But he has been read here by Camposano. Let's see if Narciso will switch things up.
Side out, sabi ni Coach Sidney. 3-0 run, make that 3-1 after the point from Caritativo.
Much needed just to break the momentum Alpha Insurance was trying to build through the hands of Anima that time.
Shawi really injecting that life for SAVOUGE. 5 points away for them. That's a point for Alpha Insurance.
Caritativo also too aggressive on that block, scraping the net. Good reverse set coming from Silang. And that scraped the hands of the Andante.
Ramirez with a fireball.
And that's the Ramirez that we all know. Another hammer there from the back row.
This guy is more than capable. Once a finals MVP back in Signal 2024 Invitational. Ronquillo blocked.
Ronquillo has been going cross-court, and the spin doctors just able to read that one. Nicolas and Ramirez teaming up and closing down Ronquillo.
Led to perfection. Another timeout, this time from Alpha Insurance.
Sige lang. Oh, tulak mo na yung pasa mo. Ha? Pero atakihin natin. Let's go, tara!
Pasa muna tayo.
Let's go.
Kaya na pala mo yung break. Kaya naman natin ibaba.
Eh, Alba!
Buday ko! Kaya natin ibaba.
Coach Mike Santos saying na kaya pa. The set is not yet done, but this is a 5-point lead for the Spin Doctors. They need a good first ball. They want to play in system here, talking about Alpha Insurance.
Simple lang din mag-timeout si Coach Mike. No nonsense.
Yep.
Simple instructions. So, almost.
A good effort from Caritativo and Dionis to keep that ball alive. Despite the efforts also of Jao Mandal, all power in that attack.
Jao Mandal has 19 points. Still the lone protector in double digits. Luis Ramirez is the third Spin Doctor to enter that mark. Speaking of mark.
Mark Calado and Shawi Caritativo has been unstoppable in this set. They have led the way here for the Spin Doctors, but Dayandante, as mentioned, has been orchestrating the offense so well. Calado again with a single block.
Dan Nicolas serving. Silang goes back to Jao. Outside, no check. Coach Mike Waves it off, no challenge.
Yep.
And SAVOUGE are now at set point with a comfortable advantage. And it ends with that service ace, courtesy of Dan Nicolas for his second point of the match. But more importantly, they are now back up 2-1 over the Alpha Insurance Protectors. Back inside the Philippine Center in San Juan for your 2026 Spikers Turf Open Conference. Set 3 just finished in the SAVOUGE. Spin Doctors are back. They were able to adjust after that set 2 loss. And we'll take a look at the highlights. What happened there? Anong nakita mo, Aiel, for both of the teams which led to that result?
Well, for the Spin Doctors, it was really the firepower in Calado and Caritativo. Again, going all aggressive, putting more intensity in their attack. Some bright spots in terms of blocking there for Alpha Insurance. But definitely it wasn't enough. And Jao Mandal, the player they relied on set number 2, also was limited in terms of attacking. As you see, one-digit scoring in terms of attacking there for Alpha Insurance. They only have 8 against the 14 of the Spin Doctors. 2 blocks for them, definitely not enough to slow down the Spin Doctors and the Alpha Insurance, committing more errors. They have 9 against the 7 of the Spin Doctors.
You see that sizable advantage of SAVOUGE in the attacking department. They will stick with the players that they ended set 3 with. Dan Nicolas getting the service ace to finish that off. Meanwhile, for the Protectors, they will stick with their starters. As you're underway here in set 4, Dip Pianco with Aiel Estraniero covering the match. Baby Sakot is at the sidelines. First point goes to Mark Calado.
The Spin Doctors will definitely try to close this out here in the 4th set. They don't want Alpha Insurance to find that momentum and extend this one.
Oh, Nicolas was lost thanks to his head. Buti na lang.
Saktong-sakto eh. That's pure luck there for Nicolas and the Spin Doctors. Take a look at that.
Yun yung tinatawag na head over heart.
And still a point there. Oof.
Short for Anima.
He was rushing in that sequence. Wanted to deliver a point right away. But committed an error. Really good start here for the Spin Doctors.
Jim Ronquillo having that split-second eye
Right.
contact with Louis Ramirez.
Right. And Ramirez also just a split second late in pressing those hands in. Good timing in that swing block.
Nicolas on the attack. That's a point for Spin Doctors.
Points coming in fast here for the Spin Doctors. We have to mention the playmaking of Dayandante. Just putting the attackers at a good position to deliver the points.
Billy Anima, what a response.
That's going to be a bounce back point for Anima. Alpha Insurance will need more contributions from all the attackers. Billy Anima can be that spark plug here in terms of intensity.
What a block two from Sabanal, back-to-back for Alpha Insurance.
And
Sixth kill block already for Sabanal.
that has been the strength of Sabanal here in this match. But for Alpha Insurance, this is what they want. They want to keep this set very close.
Cross court for Ramirez.
The Spin Doctors having a lot of offensive weapons. Again, we have to mention that. Yes, Caritativo and Calado leading the way, but there are also big contributions from the other players.
Good save from Dionis. Louis again, trying to hit it off the blockers. Way out though.
Yep. The coach is almost deciding to call for the challenge, but all the players saying no. Don't waste one on that.
Dante tosses Ramirez, Nabasa, Marmeto for the coverage. Calado breaks the block.
Calado continues to be unstoppable here in set number 4, even from the back row, even in an awkward approach. Calado still able to power through.
18 points and counting for Mark Calado.
Ooh.
That delay did not work because the blockers were on point. Kim Dayandante with the chef's kiss.
That has to feel good for Dayandante again. Jao Mandal had to stay a little bit in the air just to reach that ball. Just a bit too high there, Dayandante with the perfect timing on that block.
Ronquillo off the hands of the blockers.
Net defense was there, but Ronquillo able to score one. At this point, Alpha Insurance has to play it smart, finding all ways to score.
Umandal will have to work from the back. Their top scorer in the match. Dayandante goes to Torres.
At this point, the Spin Doctors are finding all points from all the players.
And we go to the first technical timeout. SAVOUGE up by 3.
You're still watching the 2026 Spikers Turf Open Conference. SAVOUGE Aesthetics, they're relentless in that third set, and Coach Sidney Calderon constantly reminding them to stay in the game, to keep the aggression, but to stay focused. So they are challenged to play better defense, specifically their blockings. And lastly, they just need to continue distributing the ball well, because things work well for them when they share the ball. Back to you, Dipanael.
Thanks, Baileys, for that report. Coach Sidney, as always, very calm at the sidelines. When you have a coach like that is very composed, diba?
Yep.
Parang nakikarry mo rin yung habits niya.
Yeah. And that's why the spin doctors are also able to stay composed even in crunch moments. And right now they are also really starting strong here, but that's going to be a much needed point for Alpha Insurance.
Zhao able to save. And Sabanal with the chase. Back with SAVOUGE. Diandante with a 1-2. Play on. Kim for the spike. Wala pa rin. Eager to score. Doug. Caritativo. Not yet. Battle at the net. It trickles down to the side of the Spin Doctors. Long rally. Coverage present. Courtesy of Diandante. Shawi, no. Anima returns. And that ends the extra long rally.
Yep. And that was a good decision for Alpha Insurance to keep on going. They were expecting that 4 touches will be called in that sequence. But Billy Anima just kept on going and delivered that point.
I mean, it's always a tease, a test if you can stay patient pag mga ganyan mahaba. And you saw Diandante really try to end it with a 1-2s. Di nga lang gumana. Mark Calado scores.
He has been a scoring machine in this match, talking about Mark Calado.
That one short for Diandante.
Now only a 1-point lead for the Spin Doctors. Alpha Insurance will want to tie things up early on.
Kim Ramirez had to ad-lib on that.
Camposano also letting that one go, not going for an attempt. That was a smart move coming from Luis Ramirez. Take a look at that, right on the line there.
Double pumping and finding the sweet spot. 2-point lead still for the Spin Doctors. This is going to be an attack error for Camposano. I thought he was just going to go for a free ball.
Right. Now that was a tough set, tough angle for Camposano, forcing him to commit an error. And right now, nothing really going well on the side of Alpha Insurance.
Line ng pinanggalingan eh.
Right.
11-8. Silang tosses. That's a block breaker para kay Camposano.
A better set, better height. He was able to go for that usual approach. But Alpha Insurance still playing catch-up here.
Yeah.
Camposano has been the bright spot offensively.
Underhand, Calado with a send over. And nobody there to pick it up.
Ronquillo has been blocked a couple of times already. Ramirez really banking on that familiarity as a former teammate. The no coverage there for the protectors.
Zhao comes up short.
Zhao Amandal really overthinking that approach. Seeing 2 hands right in front of him, wanting to outsmart them with an off-speed attack. And that down the line, just couldn't get that ball over that time for Umandal.
Papalit ng setter. Itong si Coach Mike Santos, bringing in Villegas. Chance. You can hear the bench of SAVOUGE.
They have a lot of side comments here. And that's helping out their team, but that's definitely a big distraction on the side of Alpha Insurance.
Hindi ko alam kung safer ano ba eh, pero they wanted the bomb from Louis Ramirez, basically. And that's a free ball for Mark Calado. They are on a tear here in the 4th set.
No, but they have a challenge here, talking about Alpha Insurance, are reaching beyond challenge of that attack of Mark Calado. Well, for Alpha Insurance, they are desperate for a point here. Spin Doctors a point away from the 2nd technical timeout. That's clear.
No reaching beyond. Challenge unsuccessful for Alpha Insurance, who trailed by 6. In danger of being left behind here by SAVOUGE. A delay on that attack. Hang time for JM Ronquillo.
Yep. Forcing the net defense of the Spin Doctors to miss time their jump. Take a look at that. Too early on that block was Louis Ramirez.
Kim goes to Torres.
It's all fireball coming from the Spin Doctors.
And they lead us to the 2nd technical timeout. Take a look at this one more time. We'll be back after the break.
As a very young and promising team, Alpha has players mostly comprised of fresh graduates. Of course, the additions from the other teams already have experience in playing international. So they were able to teach us their experiences, and I'm really happy for that. And everyone, we're very excited to learn from them, especially dun sa mga mas madami ng nalaruan.
Action resumes here inside the Philoil Center. Ooh. Zhao able to get up.
Again, as you mentioned, you see the swags, you see the celebrations, but you know, off the court, these players are all friends.
Naglolokohan lang yung mga yan. 17-10 outside for Calado. I think na-realize na rin ni referee Jocelyn. Tatawanan lang itong mga players.
But also, at least the players did their job and started to celebrate and turn their back behind their opponents.
Nakatakot pa rin sila, di ba? Di na naulit eh. 11-17 here in set 4. Ronquillo. And Narciso high up for Ramirez. Down it goes.
Spin Doctors definitely in the advantage in that sequence. Perfect set from Narciso, leaving Ramirez with only one blocker, and Silang at that, the smaller blocker on the side of Alpha Insurance.
And that'll be an ace for Louis Ramirez.
Ramirez had a slow start in this match, but once he was able to find that confidence
Yun yung hinihintay ng teammates niya, for him to be confident.
And play loose.
Oh, play loose, exactly the term. You're right. You see him smiling and playing along with his teammates off the bench, or on the bench rather. That is short for Ronquillo, and this is now getting out of hand. Siyam na ang lamang ng Spin Doctors. Oh, this time, Jao Mandal gets it to go.
Take a second look on that. Umandal has been quiet since set number 3. They will need more points from Umandal.
Caritativo. Battle at the net, won by De La Vega.
Everything clicking here for the Spin Doctors. Even players coming off the bench, providing the points. Take a look at that, De La Vega. Aggressive on the net defense.
Hiro Austria comes in for Torres. Spin Doctors are having a lot of fun, and why not? They have this huge lead.
And you've got to appreciate also the players on the bench really hyping up their teammates in every point.
(21-12). I think there was just a reminder for the audience to observe proper decorum. That was Austria still down. Sampu na ang lamang, and Coach Sidney emptying the bench. Looks like they will bring in Diwa as well. Point for Camposano.
Much needed there for Alpha Insurance, but if you take a look at the score, Spin Doctors just 3 points away and securing win number 2.
So all players have seen action already. Those that are suited up, parang yung last game lang nila, no, against 3B.
Yep.
So everyone getting a chance to participate and perform. De La Vega swings, covered by Diwa. Caritativo, that's long. Back-to-back points for Alpha Insurance.
No block touch as well. It's going to be a free point for Alpha Insurance. But this is a tough climb that they will need to do if they want to extend this one.
Oh, they go middle. So they just check in Diwa.
Again, a display on the depth of the lineup of the Spin Doctors.
John Daniel Diwa, instant impact off the bench. De La Vega sending it straight to the net.
Rushing on that serve. But for the Spin Doctors, they can't afford some errors right now.
And Narciso, back row from Ramirez. What a bullet.
And as you mentioned earlier, Dip, ito yung hinihintay ng mga teammates niya. But we talked about how he needs more time to adjust and gel, but it doesn't seem like it. Very comfortable in the playmaking of his setters in Narciso and Dante.
Match point na for SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. Can they end it here in Narciso? Reverse to De La Vega. Free ball though for the Protectors. Anima is blocked. A redo for Billy. Boy pa, Louie. Free ball. Pinalo from the back. And Jao Mandal. Looks like SAVOUGE will take their chances here. They will call for a football challenge.
Off that back row attack of Jao Umandal.
I can only imagine ano yung kaganapan sa practice ng SAVOUGE. So kung ang dami nilang napapag-usapan, you can hear them.
That's very clean there on that back row attack of Jao Mandal. Alpha Insurance still alive. Just no room for errors anymore.
Nagkikwentuhan lang sila, challenge pa tayo. Parang meron eh. So, a match point saved because of that unsuccessful challenge. 8 ang hinahabol dito. Camposano. Picked up. Bandiwa ends the match. Gets the final point, and the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors win this one in 4 sets.
And again, Coach Sydney Calderon able to use all her players and everyone stepping up. I mean, Calado Caritativo, yes, leading the way, but it was still a team effort for the Spin Doctors to get this win against the Alpha Insurance.
Everyone saw action on the court. And they improved their record to 2 wins and no losses in our open conference. Meanwhile, Alpha Insurance goes down with 1 win and 2 losses. But still, meron pa silang matches to be played in hopes of entering the semifinals. We know that the top 4 will enter the semis and then a round-robin format. Tapos, saka tayo papasok sa championship and battle for 3rd. So, all smiles from the Spin Doctors as we take a look at the final scores. 25-20, and then the little hiccup in set 2, 20-25, and they finish it off 25-18, 25-16 for the victory. And we'll be back to close this one up after the break.
You're still watching the 2026 Spikers Turf Open Conference, and beside me, Buboy Calyado, our player of the game from the SAVOUGE Aesthetics. Congratulations, 2-0, undefeated, strong start this conference. Anong pakiramdam natin?
Happy po kami kasi talagang kahit papaano po talaga lumakas yung team namin, and sobrang thankful kami sa mga bago na dumating. And si Kuya Dayan Dante na nag-perform ngayon, sobrang galing niya kanina. And ayun talaga sabi ni Madam sa amin, kapitan namin yung game, and dapat mataas yung intensity lagi.
Diba? Pero malumana yung pag-yakap sa'yo. So, of course, this match, important to sa inyo. Maraming additions, yes. Naging mahirap ba yung mga naging adjustments natin pre-season?
Hindi naman po masyado kasi yung mga bago naman po is nag-a-adapt naman po ng maayos, and talagang pinipilit nilang pumunta dun sa kung ano yung sistema ng SAVOUGE namin. Parang di ba, good vibes lang. So parang bilang di ba nasa signal sila. So iba na yung parang culture dito sa SAVOUGE. So yun yung hindi mahirap sa kanila na madali silang mag-adjust, and madali kaming mag-adjust din sa kanila.
Yes. And for the the coming games, we look forward, of course, sa inyong mga matches. Ano pang kailangan yung i-improve on?
Siguro po yung blockings namin kanina kasi sobrang po kami. Hindi naman lousy siguro, pero alos ang dami kasing pina-check ni Kuya Jao. Lahat yung mga spiker nila talagang ginagawa ng paraan kasi matataas yung reach ng blocking. So siguro yun po yung dapat pa naming And double time pa po sa serve.
Alright. Good luck sa inyo. Baka may mga gusto kang batian?
Binabati ko po yung family ko sa Pangasinan, and si Madam, si Popshi, ayan po, yung mga sumusuporta sa SAVOUGE. Yung mga family ng teammates ko, yung girlfriend ko, yung family niya. And sa lahat po ng mga sumusuporta sa SAVOUGE Spin Doctor, manood po kayo lagi.
Maraming salamat, Buboy Calyado, our player of the game. Back to you, Ayel and Dip.
Thanks a lot, Baileys. There you have it. Player of the game, Mark Calado. Sabi niya, lumakas yung team. Siya rin lumakas di ba?
I mean, he has leveled up here. Kitang-kita doon sa attacking niya and all-around game niya.
So, again, Mark Calado and the rest of the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors will get the job done here. We see the highlights in set 4. Your final thoughts on what transpired in that last set?
Well, SAVOUGE had the momentum going into that fourth set, and they just continued that rhythm again. The playmakers in Narciso and Dante having a smooth playmaking. Everyone actually shining on the side of the Spin Doctors. And as you can see the numbers yet again, Spin Doctors out attacking Alpha Insurance. They have 16 against the 9 of Alpha Insurance. The same numbers for blocking and serving, but almost the same numbers too in terms of errors. But it was really, again, the offense of the Spin Doctors shining bright in set number 4.
2 wins, no losses so far for the SAVOUGE Spin Doctors. Mark also mentioned the culture that they're building. They are having fun, yet they are getting the job done dito sa Spikers Turf Open Conference. That does it for our Sunday triple header at the Spikers Turf. SAVOUGE winning this final game over Alpha Insurance. On behalf of our director, Nomar Santiago, our courtside reporter, Bailey Sacco, at my partner, Ayel Estraniero. My name is Dip Dipiaco, saying thank you for watching the Spikers Turf Open Conference, where power meets passion.